Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Horror Debate. I am Jeff Rowdy Jake here, and with me is Michael Mandy.
And this week we're going to be reviewing The Wicker Man from 2006, starring Nicolas Cage, directed by Neil LaBute.
Oh boy.
This is a remake from the 1973 film.
Yeah, and if you guys have not listened to the original movie's review, you might want to just stop this review and go ahead and go back to that wonderful movie that we gave such a high rating to.
Fine film,
absolutely. What'd you think of this one, Mike? I mean, well, let's go ahead and break down the plot again, just real quick.
Okay, well, the plot of this film is there's a missing girl, and Nicolas Cage is a police officer, and so he goes to a little island off the coast of Washington called Summer's Isle, and
Summer's Eve?
Summer's Isle.
Oh, Summer's Isle.
You know, I'm sure Summer's Eve was a very popular item there because it was populated with nothing but women, and the men were all the slaves, and they didn't talk at all.
I had a dream like that once.
I bet this movie is going to be a real big hit on Lifetime.
Probably. And I can see this one totally going on there. Not so much the original, but this one, absolutely.
Definitely, because this one, they try so hard to make the analogies between bees and the queen bees, and all the men are drones, and they, not only that, they also pound it home with the fact that it makes the island's chief export is honey.
Yeah.
And gee, what amazing coincidence! They pick Nicolas Cage to come over, and he happens to be allergic to bee stings. What an amazing
The thing is, Mike, is that you can't deny that Nick Cage is a great actor. He has a lot of really good movies, and he does a great job in almost everything. Not only could he not save this movie, but he acted like he was kind of running at half speed most of the time in this movie.
The funny part is he's one of the producers of this film. He invested his own money into this.
Yeah,
film. I mean, he'd want it to be a success.
It wasn't a success in any way, shape, or form. Now, I will say that I did enjoy the characterization more in the remake than I did in the original movie. I didn't care one iota about anybody in that original movie, okay?
I cared for Britt Eklund.
Well, yeah, for all of about 30 seconds. But you know, in this one, you do kind of feel yourself getting attached, I think, to the little girl, and also to the mother as well.
That mother had lips that made Angelina Jolie
jealous. Now, that's not what
jealous.
I'm talking about, being attached, Mike. Come on now. I mean,
Angelina said, "Hey, she stole my lips."
I'm trying to keep this above gutter level, okay? Here now,
you know, I'm not surprised there were bees all over the island, man. They stung her lips.
Well, anyway, like I was saying, man, you do get a little bit of an attachment to these characters, and I did not find myself doing that in the original movie, so that was a plus. Okay. Also, I thought Nick Cage, you know, even as ineffective as he was in this role, was sure a heck of a lot better than the guy that was doing the original.
Edward Woodward,
yeah. Yes.
They kept the names the same. Some of the names.
Well, they mixed it around.
This film. Yeah, his name was Edward, and his girlfriend's last name was Woodward.
Right. So
and Britt Eklund in the first film was the town bicycle. Everybody got a ride. And in this film, he actually
above gutter, Mike.
Stole
above
a
gutter.
bicycle.
So you know, this one is another tough one because you know, remakes are tough. They're tough to judge. Yeah. If the original movie sucks, does that automatically mean the remake's going to suck?
No, not exactly.
Not normally.
I thought The Thing from Another World was kind of a very slow-paced film, but the John Carpenter film, zoom, right there.
Yeah.
Cut all the fluff and made a nice taut film. The same with The Fly.
I agree with that.
The Fly.
Sure.
They took the original twist. Instead of putting a human head on a fly body and a fly head on a human body, they made him turn into the fly. Yeah. That was a cool idea.
Well, you know, I could tell about 30 seconds to a minute into this movie, as soon as Nick Cage came on the screen and he was talking really slow, and it was like droning.
I'm a police officer.
And man, I was like, oh, don't tell me I got to do another 90 minutes of time here, man. I mean, with this, I mean, and literally, it feels like doing time with some of these movies, man. And this, you know, it's unrecommendable for a lot of reasons, but the main reason is that you know, the story just in itself to me is not very good. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, okay. Comparing the two,
yeah,
I will give this film did seem to have a more tight direction, crisper picture, the sets.
Well, of course, it's gonna have crisper picture,
but but I mean,
I think you're right.
The whole movie as all seemed more. how's the best way to put? They took a lot of the fluff out of it. They made it more.
It was more to the point.
And
it was changed. It was definitely modified to fit the more modern audiences of today.
And the music.
Which wasn't a bad thing, because like I said, I was not a fan of the original.
No, they didn't have all that bad hippie music from the 70s
Oh,
in
man.
it. No.
No,
the music was better.
Yeah, and it just felt like, the story moved along. You didn't feel like you were sitting there just in drudgery the entire time, which I did in the original flick. Again, I can't recommend it, okay? Because
they were very faithful to the original source material.
Yeah,
so
a lot of the lines were the same.
Yeah, the lines
exactly the same. I knew what they were going to say before they said it. So.
Oh, look, here's your coach.
Yeah,
your transport.
And you know what? And I think some people will be disappointed in that, because they'll kind of feel like they're watching the exact same thing over again, just with prettier colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a good thing. So.
Especially when in today's world, okay, I can see way back in the old days Alfred Hitchcock redoing The Man Who Knew Too Much, because back in those days when a movie came to the theaters and it left, you never saw that film again. But now, when they release a remake, they're going to put a special edition out of the original so you can compare them back to back.
Well, this movie's got to get at least a couple of stars just due to the fact that, he was knocking some chicks out, wasn't he?
Not in the good way. He was running up to him and belting them with a left cross.
He was smacking him, man. Oh, it was beautiful, man. As a matter of fact, somebody made the comment while we were watching the film that, why doesn't he just swing on somebody,
That was you.
And was it me?
Yeah, you said, man, he just wants to deck her.
There you go. That was right. Okay.
Poof, there she went.
And boom. And it was like 5 seconds after I said that, then she was out, I jumped off the couch, and of course.
Yes, he did. Fists in the air.
Oh, it was beautiful. Yeah. But, again, I couldn't see myself going back to revisit this movie. Now, I do want to say that we did watch this in a high-def transfer at 720p, for those of you who know what that is. And it was gorgeous. Visually, there were some scenes in there that were real knockouts. Some of the water scenes and mountainous scenes, a lot of outdoor environments, a lot of contrast in the colors. And if you're looking for something kind of pretty, this is definitely something to check out. But I think the story will bore you to death, and you won't even care. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, it's got a real downer ending too. And I was wondering if the modern film, because today's audiences don't like downer endings, I thought, they're going to change the ending. But no, they didn't. They stayed very faithful to the source material. Problem is, the source material wasn't that great to begin with.
No. It was a downer ending to begin with. I could not foresee them changing the ending just to satisfy the audiences of today. And I'm sort of glad they didn't, because that would be kind of like just stupid. You know what I mean?
Having him break out of the Wicker Man at the end and run up and slug everyone again
would not have made any sense. So I'm glad they kind of left that the way it was. And the brutality of the way they knocked this guy down was welcome. It was actually it shocked me. We'll put it like that. I don't want to give anything away, but in the original movie there wasn't a whole lot of physical violence at all.
No, he just pretty much gave up.
Yeah, and we get to this one, and I think they probably noticed that. The director probably noticed that for the remake and said, that guy in the original wasn't even trying to get out of the burning structure. He's just kind of up there screaming and crying and hollering. So, and Nick Cage isn't going to sit up there and scream and cry and holler, right? He's gonna try to get out. So we've got to maim this guy, to get him to the point where all he can do is scream and cry and moan.
Right.
So, again, this is totally a 2-star movie, and I'm probably pushing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 1 star.
Yeah. And I can totally see that. It's a low 2. It's not exciting in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, the characterization was a little bit better, and I could see, the goal was there to make this into something respectable, but it's not.
Yeah. All right. He's Rowdy Jeff. I'm Michael Mandy. We'll see you next week at the Horror Debate.